It's a pleasure to be here and to discuss with all of you about the work on alcohol policy in Burundi, which I think is really a great challenge. So my study analyzed the landscape of alcohol policy in Burundi and its implication on the public health, and it's a really great topic, and it was the first review that was done in Burundi, and we have amazing results. The next slide. As you see, I have no conflict of interest in alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs, and I'm not going to talk about how research in alcohol policy is still limited in Africa and as well as in Burundi, because this was a first study done in Burundi, and from the previous studies not on alcohol policies, it was found that 60.6 of people age 15 and above were drinking alcohol, and our major research was focused on analyzing the national alcohol policy that was set up in 2016. Next slide. So we did a documentary review and in-depth interviews with using WHO framework that has 44 indicators, and we did interviews of 10 people that were selected purposely and snowballing based on the law they do in the alcohol industry, in the alcohol sector. Next. So from our result, we found that only 9 of 44 WHA indicators, EAP's European alcohol policy framework that has indicators to see how the countries are implementing alcohol policies. We couldn't find the similar in African context, and then we used the European framework. And the 7 out of 44 indicators were mentioned, but with no clear action, and 18 were not addressed at all. So the larger proportion of indicators were not really absent in our review. Next. We found that policy raising awareness on the dangers of alcohol consumption, those addressing labeling, were better implemented from our interviews, and the major barriers to successful implementation were of the national alcohol policy and the other alcohol were to fail because there was a national alcohol policy that has to be followed by national strategic plan, and as well as the national law, there's a suggestion to give the penalties when you are breaking the law, but there has been a failure to transform the national alcohol policy into legislation. So for the people who don't know it, the policy framework in Burundi, we have a policy, we have a strategic plan, we have somehow, which is an implementation plan, and also we have somehow laws that fix the penalties and how the policy is implemented. So we also have the issues of lack funding. The Minister of Health couldn't have funding, whether it's to continue advocacy and to implement some of the policies that the national strategic plan. And we also found that it's Burundi alcohol culture, and we couldn't find monitoring systems, and also corruption was one of the issues, whether in policy adoption, also in policy implementation. Corruption, for example, the police officers who were bribed when we found people who are driving while drunkard. So the alcohol industry also was perceived in undermining the policy making, registration, and implementation. we found that minority stakeholders said they were implemented because when they were participating in advocacy to adopt the policy, because it took years to have the national alcohol policy. Next slide. We didn't find in our review any policy measure regarding minimum unit price, and we have even document review absence of marketing and advertising policies. There was a law that has been put, but they have never been adopted. They have those policies, marketing and advertising policies, but the law has been for now 6 years because they has been designed in 2018. But now the current policy document, they don't have marketing and advertising policies, non-implementation and corruption with driving policies, and availability in the marketing of alcohol action-related coherence, and strong indicators where they exist, of course. Next slide. Next. We as conclusion, we Burundi, in our context, think we should enact laws to support existing policies, even though the national corporation now is 80 years old. And we need now to design a new alcohol policy, strategic plan, and then also continue to advocate for the law that is been in the Ministry of Health for many years. So the government, of course, and the civil society should continue to work and to address as well the alcohol industry interference. And as researchers, we need to still explore how the barriers, including the corruption and the industry interference. Also, we need to investigate how the industry framing will influence the society approach to alcohol more generally in Burundi.